Hello again, this is Alex with MasterChartsTrading.com, and this is market recap for Friday, August 24th, 2018. So I wanted to upfront apologize. I got a bit of a cold, so my voice might sound a little different, but the gist of the presentation is the same. We have the S&P 500 making new highs, foreign stocks are rebounding, long-dated treasuries could be breaking out. And we'll look at some of the bottoming action on junk bonds and see if they have bottomed as well. Look at the dollar action. Gold is surging on weaker dollar. Oil is moving higher, but I think it could still move back to around 64, and this could be a good place to buy it. We'll look at natural gas, and I'll show you my current UNG trade, and we'll look at cryptos at the very end. So S&P 500 today on Friday, August 24th, 2018. Let's zoom out so I can show you what I mean. This is a fresh high today on August 24th. So fresh highs are unequivocally bullish. In other words, there is no question if we're in an uptrend or a downtrend. We're definitely in an uptrend. Previous 3 times we had excellent entry opportunities around these blue indicator line. So you can find out more about those indicator lines by going to MasterChartsTrading.com and clicking on alerts and indicators, and you can sign up there. So these are the lines that I use to trade myself, and this is what I send to my subscribers, and this is an actual alert on 28th of June 2018 for a very nice move to fresh highs. So again, overall the stocks are bullish, and I would by no means even contemplate selling or shorting this market. Here's QQQ, also at fresh highs. Nothing that I can think of is wrong with this chart. Same thing with IWM at fresh highs. Some of the European equities, so United States equities are making fresh highs. The rest of the world, not so much. So let's look at Europe first. Here's European proxy VGK. We had a nice opportunity to short here on the 31st of July this year, 2018. I'm currently avoiding it, and I'm saying to my subscribers the same thing. I would avoid them. If I was to short this chart, and I don't like to short equity, especially diversified equity, because overall this S&P 500 is still looks like to be in an uptrend, and the correlations between the various stock funds, various stocks, various world funds are very high. So if the S&P 500 is on an uptrend, then all other downtrends in equity and stocks I would question. So to me this looks like, if you're kind of aggressive and if you are interested in even playing it on the downside, then potentially a good level to watch would be around $57, $58. So if I was to let's say buy puts, so like I would be buying puts if or when the price reaches this level at around $58 or so. Emerging markets also rebounded relatively strongly, so you can see price action. I'm zooming in over the past couple of weeks. It rebounded pretty much exactly at the aggressive short levels. Again, this is equity, and additionally this is very, very aggressive entry, so I would be rather wary of this type of entry on the short side. I would be much more interested in shorting on the bounce slightly higher to $45 or so. So this would be my conservative short levels. So emerging markets, this looks to be in a downtrend in security. So when you zoom out, there's the breakdown on 27th of June, a bounce, another low. So a bounce is definitely overdue, and we're witnessing it as we're recording this. Here's China FXI, same thing, basically aggressive short levels already. Here's India. This is already at conservative short level, so I personally prefer, if I was to short this ETF, I would have shorted it right there on the breakdown on 13th of August with a stop above the blue line, so like up here. Russia, RSX, yeah, bearish security. Again, I would wait for a bounce before I contemplate a short on this one. Definitely not. I would not be buying it to to hold and hope for it to go higher. I think this may go lower. All right, so that's equity. Okay, let's continue to bonds. So first of all, here's TLT. This is 20 plus year Treasury bond fund. So notice this red indicator line. I'm going to zoom in on the recent price action. So here in the July 20th, we were trading it on the downside. In fact, here is a alert that I sent for TBT right there. On July 20th, the alert was sent at 36.36, and basically we had a decent gain just a few days later. Now notice that this gain was given entirely back, so if you were shorting it right there on the 20th of July, then I'm hoping that you exited somewhere around early August. Because notice that then we're having a bounce. In fact, it went well ahead above this red line. And, we're not that far off from outright bullish levels. We're only 1.8% away from outright bullish levels. And this could mean, rather, this is probably meaning that investors are positioning themselves for sort of a flight to safety environment. Although stocks are at fresh highs, bonds seem to be gaining. Here's the bond BUND with a breakout, and this looks like a breakout to me. I think it's going to continue higher from here. TLT, same thing. Basically, I'm waiting to see a move above this blue line, and at that point I think we may contemplate buying treasuries. LQD, the investment grade corporate bonds, are still lagging behind, but the overall correlations obviously is pretty high between the various bond funds. So LQD and then overall bond market still kind of trying to bottom. Here's junk bonds, JNK. I think it's bearish still, but once again, if bonds are generally moving higher, perhaps junk bonds will also continue higher. Junk bonds correlate more with stocks than with bonds, and now we're approaching this aggressive or the conservative short levels at 36.04. So if I was trading, for example, I would, wait for a high above the red line and then short it on a close below the red line. For example, similar to what we had right there on the 19th of April 2018. The question is this a true, breakout? And it's possible, we're again not that far off from bullish levels. We're only, 1.4853 cents away from bullish levels. So, yeah, I wonder what's happening with the junk bonds. But this is also could be thought of as a good thing for the stock market, because junk bonds and stocks correlate very highly. So for example, here is another junk bond fund, and this is HYG. And notice that here on this chart, the price already broke out above this red support resistance lines. So notice JNK still lagging behind, while HYG has already broken out. So for JNK, so for HYG, the distance is even shorter here, and could easily travel 60 cents in just a few days. This would imply that junk bonds have turned around, found support, and now again are back in the bull market. And this would absolutely help the general stock market. So perhaps this is a breakout that many people were waiting for. Alright, let's continue to the Forex universe. Dollar index DXY. So first of all, again, find out more about these 4 lines on the chart by going to MasterChartsTrading.com. So I use these lines myself, basically exclusively. I don't really do any other trading without using my own indicators, basically. So the way I use it, I first send the trend, and the trend has changed from down to up on 28th of May 2018, right there, where I'm hovering. And then from then on, we only contemplate going long, we only contemplate buying. So where do we usually buy? I personally prefer to see a deeper pullback from recent highs, so I would be waiting for a pullback to around $93.70, $94 before going long. Euro versus US dollar, nice bounce here. So approaching very strong conservative short levels at 1.17716. I would sell it here. I would short it here, basically, depending on price action, obviously. British pound, very similar to euro, not as strong, it's weaker than euro, but bouncing nevertheless. So again, I would be looking to short it. US dollar, Swiss franc, a little bit of a pullback in favor of Swiss franc, and if it even gets to 0.97379, then I would be very interested myself. US dollar versus Japanese yen, yeah, looks pretty good in favor of US dollar. Australian dollar, near the lows, trying to bounce. Pretty normal behavior, so similar to the overall dollar index. Dollar index is in the process of pulling back from recent highs and attempting to bottom. Again, I'm thinking that we're gonna go a little lower to probably $94 or so. US dollar versus Canadian dollar. Bullish security, I would be looking to buy US dollar with Canadian dollar, so I would be looking to go long on this chart. US dollar versus Mexican peso still puzzles me, so I'm kind of avoiding it. If the rest of the world is moving lower versus the United States dollar, and then Mexican peso all of a sudden gains, I'm not sure exactly how to interpret it, so I'm just staying away from it. Continuing to gold coverage, so XAU USD, notice pretty decent surge here. We do GC1 exclamation point, which are also known as gold futures. So on this chart, pretty obvious levels again. So pretty obvious level here at 1243. And if you need to find out more about my indicators, then go to MasterChartsTrading.com and look for the information there. But the price action makes perfect sense. We made a fresh low, turned around, and I'm looking for a bounce to 1243. I think it will be a great place to short gold. Let's continue to oil. Here's US oil, which is a CFD, contract for difference, that can be traded in pretty much everywhere but the United States. But, you know, we're just different like that. Anyways, US oil, great place to buy would be around 64, 66 or so, right at this blue line. Here are the same oil and futures chart, and again we almost got to 64 bucks and then we surge. So I think that if we get down again to like 64.14, then I personally would also be very interested in buying this. Overall, oil is in an uptrend. Briefly, let's look at cryptos. So BTC USD, Bitcoin versus US dollar. Nothing is happening. It's near the lows. I would short it on a bounce to at least 8,000, but better to 10,787. Litecoin, LTC USD, and near the lows again. Ethereum, also near the lows. And EOS USD, also near the lows, was just a very nice move. Over 50% move right there. So overall, again, I would basically avoid the cryptos or short them. Please head over to MasterChartsTrading.com. That's MasterChartsTrading.com. Click on alerts and indicators, and then sign up for one of the monthly or yearly deal. For a slightly more expensive option, the monthly indicators and the alerts, and the yearly indicators and alerts, you get also the indicators, and I can share this indicators right there, the 4 different color lines, to your TradingView free TradingView account, so you don't really need to buy any expensive software or anything of that nature. Alright, that's it for this week's recap. Thanks for watching. Please excuse me, hit the like button, and have another great trading week. Bye bye.